The Formal Gamer, podcast for those with exquisite taste.
Welcome to Season 11 of the Formal Gamer podcast. Grot and Dante return on their quest to eradicate the curse of the Freeloka. The peaceful people of Parasha live a quiet and tranquil existence, but evil is coming to rip apart their lives. For some, more literally than others.
Hi guys, welcome to episode 12 of season 11 of the Formal Gamer podcast. I hope you're having a nice week. I'm having a nice week. I've made 3 pies in 3 days. I made a fish pie, and then I made a shepherd's pie, and then I had lamb twice, so I made a lamb shank pie with a bone sticking out the top. It was mental. But more important than any of the pies that I've made is that you enjoy the episode. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Formal Gamer podcast. Last 2 weeks ago, we met Rill. We met him a bit before, but we had a proper conversation with Rill.
It's the first time we really met Rill.
Yeah, you really met Rill. Really Rill. And you realise that you're not the only people up for vengeance against the Dark Man. And in fact, he has stayed near this island planning his vengeance. And he worships a god of vengeance called Hua, who is the sort of this sort of figure in his life who is sort of promoting it. He called him the Lord of Three Thunders, the Doombringer, the Poet of Justice. His symbol being this sort of 2 heads, one sad, one screaming. And he has sort of a coin under his skin, Rill, to remind him of this. And now Dante has one of these coins under his skin as well. Not that Grot knows that.
I mean, if I hadn't seen the weird dynamic going on between Grot and Gorlak, his ward, I would have, I would have said I wanted to become Rill's ward.
Yeah,
but the dynamic between Grot and Gorlak
it's too strong. You just can't replicate it.
Basically,
yeah, it is.
Not into sailors' outfits either.
No, it is difficult. They are,
Maybe you would row the boat better if you were.
Yeah, maybe. The DM presumes I can't row.
Right. In a minute, the DM's going to make you get lead poisoning from that coin you put on your skin without checking it. Right. So you are setting up an island with traps. Dante is still on the mainland, getting ready. You didn't come back over the traps, did you? Dante's on the mainland, ready to sort of go and spread this message that there is Gorlok has been hiding on this island, and Grot and Rill have got a selection of traps now. In the 2 weeks between episodes, Grot asked me for a more detailed description of this area, so I'm going to quickly doodle him that. So the island is sort of thinner than it's not square or circular shaped. It's sort of long and thin with a sort of tapering point where sort of obviously it's rocky around it. There's a few sort of rocky outcrops.
I'm hoping that by the time this releases, I might have done a map for it.
Yes, there should be maps going up on the website as Danny gets his act together. There's a few trees on the north and the south end of the island, and in the middle is where this temple is. Landing-wise, where the boats would land, the safest place is coming between these rocks on the southern shore. That sort of tapers out to a point where it's sort of flatter as it's been worn away and it's built up. So that's where Rill has been landing, coming between these rocks, because it's not waves because it's a lake and it's not.
Are the other bits of the island sort of higher?
Yeah, the north end is slightly
rocks?
higher. It's going to be much harder you'd have to sort of clamber. Now there's not cliffs, it is still just like larger rocks, so you could land a boat up there, but the town is sort of to the south of the island as well. No, it's not. The town is the north of the island. So, yeah, sorry, it should be that way round. Mm-hmm. So that's the tapered end, it's towards it. So technically that's north, I just drawn it the other way up. So, yeah, your temple's in the middle still, with the town sort of to the north of you. So you're just going to row straight onto it. So there'd be no reason someone would come on the south end of the island.
And remind me, Grot's looking at he's inside the temple now, looking around. So the temple has walls that go how high? It's slightly ruined, this temple.
Yeah, but... so at the very front where the arch is, that is probably 15 feet, sort of 15 to 20 foot. Whereas at the back, at the back, the ruins, it's the same height. The sides are sort of slightly lower and have been a bit more sort of knocked down and fallen about.
Yeah.
So you'd say the easiest place to get into it would probably be from the east side of it, where the wall is most dilapidated and lowest. There it's probably only about 4 foot high. You could probably just sort of push up on your hands and sort of scale it. There's only one entrance to it though, this archway entrance, and this altar that sits in the middle of it. Simple stone altar that sits right in the middle of the room.
Did we investigate the altar? We didn't.
Yeah, you looked at it and just found it was a stone altar. You couldn't work out. There were no symbols or anything.
It's kind of like you, in the prep phase of Rainbow Six, you're putting down frost traps, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Looking for drones. And what was the entrance to the dungeon?
So that was to the just to the west of the temple, and the rear wall there was just sort of a hatch, an open hatchway, and you went down there and just found that there was a dungeon. And it's just a simple stone room with just some manacles against the walls.
And on top of this archway,
yeah,
how sturdy does it look? How thick does it look? Could I crouch up there?
Northwest corner, yes, definitely, but it would have to be pretty dark for you to be hidden up there.
I see.
So it's pretty exposed. It's white stone, so they might see you. There are a few trees leading to it, but this is quite an exposed area. The well is just that side as well, and would be a better hiding place, like down the well, but obviously you don't have a height advantage or anyone there.
Okay. Right, so where to put traps? I feel like trying to funnel them down into the dungeon. That's what I feel like. I'll say that. You're not here, are you, Dante?
No, Real's here.
Real?
No, Golak. Real came with me, didn't he?
No, Real got the traps out with him. He went and got the traps for him and we rode him across.
Ah, what am I doing? I'm just waiting on the shore then.
I don't know what you were doing.
Because I was going to go with Real to the centre to town.
Oh, you said
Okay.
Real rode him over with all the traps.
Ah.
So you can take Real back, or we
You can send Real back over, ride him back over.
Yeah, okay.
So Real rows off.
Then the boat's left on that shore.
You haven't got all the traps yet, though. You've only got half.
Yeah, he
the
was
traps.
going to go back to get.
Ah,
the
that's
traps.
it. Right, yeah, that's it. I remember now. Yeah, because I hadn't left yet. Because we said there was enough time, wasn't
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
So do you want him to? Is Dante going to help him?
Yeah,
load the
I'll be
traps?
with you then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you just see you look around the island before you set any traps. You wait for them to come back with a second set of traps, and you see that Dante's on the boat as well.
So, Dante, Rill, I'm looking at funneling them down into the dungeon. Seems like a good kill zone.
You could get Gorlak to literally run down there so they'd see him, but then it's risking Gorlak getting hurt. I don't.
It's not Gorlak's first rodeo. He knows what he's doing.
No, I've been to 3 rodeos.
You have.
He takes a javelin like a champ.
Right on the shore.
I literally have been to the rodeo as well. 3 times.
Well, that's good to know, and I hope that experience will.
I just watched.
Oh, right.
Like,
So
You
they have
didn't
a they have.
participate.
Sorry,
No.
do they have a rodeo at the circus?
no, just before I was in the circus.
Oh right. I mean,
You
because
said it was not my first rodeo, and you're right. It's my 4th, really.
I know him well.
that would be quite good. I would pay to see that at the circus. I mean,
If I ever
Possibly
get to go
even
back,
a-
I'll suggest it. But we are wanted for murder by the people from the circus.
possibly even pay a premium to see it. I mean, you do have some interesting animals. Anyway, we digress.
So, can I go down into the dungeon again?
Yeah. So you go down. It's a set of stairs, then a small archway, then about 3 more steps, and then a sharp turn left, right angle, and that opens up into the. There's another sort of step, so another sort of archway bit, and then you open up into the room, which is probably 15 feet long by 10 feet wide.
Okay, I go into that room. I try and see if there's any cracks or any like. I'm trying to work out if there's a way out of this room.
No,
This
is a
looks
whole.
sealed.
This is a cell.
Right up. Okay.
I mean, you could. It would take you a long time. You could dig down into it, maybe. But if you wanted to do
We're
this,
talking like we got a day here. We can't dig down into this.
How sturdy is the hatch?
it's wooden doors, so it could be sturdier.
Okay. Just think if we could. Lock
Sorry, is
them
it
in
steps down or?
Yeah, steps down. So 2 wooden doors, like a pub trap door, opens
Yeah,
up
yeah.
and just steps down.
How's it lit down there?
It's not. You've got dark vision.
So I'm thinking if we. I think if Gorlak, if anyone runs down here to try and lure them in here, then they're essentially cornered. I'd much prefer a scenario where they go down here themselves, and then we can shut the trap. Maybe lock some of them in. Maybe have some of them out. Try and separate, divide and conquer.
You're looking around the island. There's bits of rubble and stuff like that. You might be able to. Some of it looks big enough. You might be able to block the entrance, but it'd be
What's above
difficult.
the hatch? Is it near
The wall? It's near one of the walls. That wall is dilapidated.
Yeah.
It would take an explosion probably rather than physical pushing to knock it into the hatchway in order to block it, but it's doable.
Do we have any explosives on our persons?
I think they sold out. We tried to buy
Yeah,
some.
we did, didn't we?
Rill is going through his packs and sort of brings out some explosive flasks, but a cursory glance from Grot would know that more like a grenade than a bomb. You're not going to knock down a building with it.
We're going to end up fighting them on the island anyway. It's not really big enough to separate them.
Well, if you get some in here and you shut them off and block them off, then you can separate them to a degree, you know.
For how long? The doors, would we be able to, if we, let's say, collapse some sort of masonry onto it, would that...
They would be very hard to open after that, yeah. I mean, they're strong enough.
They're next to the... Are they the doors next to the wall? Are they?
Yeah. There's, to the far end near the entrance, one of the towers has collapsed, and that is a large piece of masonry that the four of you could either break down into bits and move. There is a larger piece that would be incredibly heavy that you might be able to move. It is, because it was a column, it is rollable essentially. You might be able to move it.
I wonder if we can get it up on the wall and then just push it off. No?
Not without magic abilities.
Would it be able, if it rolled down a little bit of the hill, would it end up in the right place or not?
Yeah, but it's so large that if you're wanting to then use that to block it, you would need all four of you and good strength rolls to get it on top of the door. This is a big bit.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, there's enough bits that you could pile them up quicker and then put a pile of stones on top of it. That would make it very difficult for them to get out.
If only we had a net.
A fishing net isn't.
He has bought nets with him. He has got nets that drop and nets that hold, all sorts of nets.
Ooh, real. I feel like maybe your fisherman's skills could come in helpful here.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
what if we collect up as much rubble as possible, put it in one of these nets, and then when we lure these bozos that are sent by the Dark Man down into the dungeon, we can drop the net on them.
He
Block
nods.
them
He
off.
says, I can set something like that up.
Yeah, nice.
So
would it be best to put it on top of the wall, maybe, and then we could
that
push it off?
Yeah, with a rope you could either pull it off or you could have someone up there to slide it off the edge and it would fall if you had enough rubble in there.
If someone was up there, would they not be seen? Or
Possibly with a big pile of rocks up there.
or maybe if they were
nets.
small enough?
Yeah, Gorlak would be the most hidden up there. Whether he'd have the strength to push it in there or not would be difficult. Even if he just had the rope up there to throw it to you guys and you then dragged it off so the rope wasn't hanging in plain sight, that might make it possible.
Yeah, that sounds
Gorlak, see if you can get yourself up
Behind
there.
the temple, the wall was craig enough that someone could climb up, and Gorlak was a thief. So
Gorlak, I'm talking to you.
Oh,
See if you can get yourself up there.
Okay. No, Gorlak.
I'm not paying you for nothing.
Gorlak, what's wrong with you? You said you've been to several rodeos before.
As a spectator!
Right, help him up.
Gorlak, come in. I grab him by his hair and throw him up there.
Right, well, you don't go by his hair. You shave him.
He's a good boy.
He's a little bald Gorlak.
He's a good boy. Oh, okay. I grab him by the back of his neck.
Right.
The scruff of his neck.
His white sailor's hat almost falls off, but he quickly puts it back on.
Your white sailor's hat's going to make you blend in with the rocks perfectly.
Okay, roll a d20.
We might need to make him look a little bit more tactical. 10.
10. What did you roll?
I rolled a 10.
10.
A
plus
tactical 10.
That's my strength of 2.
A tactical 2.
Right, okay.
That's a tactical 12.
Gorlak scrambles as well, and yeah, you get him up there. He's up on top of the pillar now.
Right, that's where you live from now on.
Until when?
Until either we all die or they all die.
Right.
Do you think we should make him look a little bit more tactical?
Well, yeah. This is. What do you mean? This is essentially.
Well, I mean, he's wearing a white striped sailor's outfit.
This is essentially an aquatic mission.
You are on an island.
Okay.
So he's about as tactical as you could get.
Yep, I'm staying out of this one.
So what about so we've got these spike traps, we've got these bear traps.
You're looking at them, though they are good. They're gonna stand out in that room down there because they're just gonna be on the floor, and that might be your issue. Like a bear trap is meant to sit in grass, and there is grass on the islands, but that's gonna be harder to get them to walk into. If it's just down there, you know, Dante, that they have dark vision because they're Vryloka. So yes, there's a chance they miss it, just walk into it, but it's by no means guaranteed.
We don't. Is there any?
So we need to put the grass downstairs.
Well, I was about to say that, but I think it's wishful thinking. Is there any hay on this island? No.
You're not having any hay.
It's not one of those hay islands.
No.
Unfortunate.
Well, we just stay here long enough to make the hay.
You could try and grow the grass and then try and make it into hay, but I don't think that's going to happen.
So you're suggesting that we wait here to grow the grass?
Yeah. I mean,
Because you're not playing. Stupid idea.
What about the approach from the beach? Is there a...
I mean, you look at the approach. There's not somewhere that you would suggest is that they would have to walk through. There's no bottleneck.
So here's a thing, though, right?
What about the top of the island?
Good.
Maybe like there's
Wait.
some trees that you could look at, but you'd have
We
to
can look at the trees.
that you could look at and go, okay, if they had to go down this bit, they would have to pass probably between those two trees.
Yeah.
But even then, you're looking and going, why? How am I going to get them to go to this
Okay.
specific area?
So I'm trying to tell you, Dante, if you listen for a second, this is kind of my thing.
In the water!
This is basically my thing. Now, we that is one of my ideas. So, here's the thing. We set up camp here. We all hide.
Not downstairs, though.
No, we leave the doors open and we put another fire downstairs, maybe. Or something to suggest a trail. Golak's up there with the rock nets. Soon as they go down there, he pushes the rock nets to cover up the hatch. Maybe squashing and killing one of them. Bit of a flare, right? Bit of an extra bonus. The ones that are left over, they'll chase us. We present ourselves. They'll come chase us, and we go hide in the forest where we set up traps. We set up the bear traps, we set up the spike traps, we set up... Well, actually, no, we set up the bear traps, and we can set up the poison dart traps.
How big's the island? Would we be able to...
It's like 3/4 of a football pitch. You got quite a bit of space.
But is the forest substantial enough for us to do what he's suggesting?
I mean,
Well, what do you mean?
Putting them down.
Hiding in the forest?
No, I didn't suggest that. I suggested we run to the forest, and when they follow us, they'll set off the traps.
Let's not call it forest. Trees. Run to the trees.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see the wood through the trees.
Yeah. So yeah, like if they were to chase you to the north end of the island, the north end peters to a sort of more of a point that if you would go through the trees, because it's rocky on the sides, you would sort of bottleneck them, and if you were to try and pretend that you were going to try and escape that way.
The problem is if we're trying to trick them into going down into the dungeon without us having to run down there and lure them in there, we're not going to be able to do that if they're already getting onto the island and then coming across spike traps and bear traps that explode and poison dart traps. We got to make them think that they've got the drop on us so we can get the drop on them. And then when we've got the drop on them, that's when we retreat back. We take our hit, we do guerrilla tactics, bugbear tactics, like's in my DNA. We retreat back to the trees where we've set up traps there as well. Now, what we could do is we could send Gorlak with the spike traps to go put the spike traps around their boats. So if they try and run away when shit gets bad, they'll run up to their boats and get a spike through the foot. And that would be underwater, so they
God, I know he's your ward, but do you think that's maybe a little bit too much responsibility for someone that couldn't climb up the top of that?
Gorlak, do you want to tell this Tin Man how many rodeos you've been to?
I've attended 3 rodeos. And I only got kicked out of 2 rodeos.
See? One rodeo you didn't get kicked out of.
I attended to the very end. I was not caught stealing. The other 2 I was.
See? He's learned so much.
That was the first rodeo I didn't get kicked out of. I was only 7.
We could adapt our tactics on the fly. We should be able to see the boats or boat coming across to the island. They may only send some people to have a look. They may not send anyone in force. There may only be 1 or 2 people.
Sure. They might also send. They might. These Vryloka, they're tricky bastards, right? So they might send their pawns forward. They're expendable men, while one of the Delatos, one of the clowns, one of the Vrylokas we're actually looking for, stays on the shoreline. Now, we don't want that situation to go down because, well, we have a bloodbath, we all have fun, Rill gets his revenge boner.
But if we kill all the pawns, he's going to have an awful time rowing back, because I know for a fact that people in the circus aren't born in rowing boats, and it will find it incredibly difficult.
This is what I'm trying to say, Dante. A true tactician, which I'm sure I don't have to explain to you, wouldn't even come to the island. He would send his men first. And he would wait for his men to bring Gorlock to him.
So maybe we should let them.
What? Bring Gorlock to... Well, no, because obviously that would put Gorlock in some terrible danger.
You've never put Gorlock in danger before.
That's too much danger. Well, so we wait. Well, okay, all right. I'll give you a shot because we've come a long way, Dante. I hate you and you hate me, but I will give you your shot. What's happening? What's your idea?
I'm just spitballing here, and obviously my throat is incredibly dry due to the lack of no yogurt recently.
So maybe you should keep your spit in your mouth.
They want to capture him to take him to their important Delata.
Yeah.
If on first sight when they come to the island we don't see the Delata, we let them find him and then follow him back.
But that's going to be quite tricky. How are we going to follow them when they're in a rowboat?
Yeah. Naval expertise, not my thing.
We could keep someone hidden at Rill's hut, because that's probably where they're going to post up, right? If they do...
Rill, what do you think? Would they? They wouldn't necessarily have a boat, so they might be looking for someone with a boat.
I mean, I don't go to town very often, but did you not say, because you told Rill about everything that happened, did you not say that they were working with the guards? The guards would just commandeer some boats off the big fishermen in the town. So they would come from the town. So they'd probably come from a bit to the west. So I'm thinking they might even land sort of slightly, and he sort of points aside, like goes, there's sort of a rock that's sort of a larger rock that's sitting next to the island. He goes, I think they would land that side of the island. If they're coming from there, that would be mine. I don't think any of them will have visited the island before, so I think they'll just row in a straight line towards whatever fire you have.
So would they be coming from, you said, from the main docks?
That would be my assumption. Why would they come from anywhere else, really?
So they wouldn't come from anywhere near your hut?
It would be very odd of them to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're going to come more than... Like, if they're going to tell the guards, or even if they're just going to come, why would they come to my hut? There's much easier boats to get than my little rowing boat.
Grot, I think your plan could work.
So, I'm trying to remember back to the eons ago when we devised this plan initially. Remember a feeling that we thought they wouldn't involve the guards into this bit.
Yeah, you were under the impression that you thought that...
Because the guards were looking for him as well, but they wanted...
You thought that if they...
got wind of it, they would come themselves.
They would just come because they would want to deal with him and basically kidnap him and not let him into prison. They might just ask the guards for some boats or something, but, you know...
We hope that one of the
Rill doesn't know.
Vryloka sort of Delata might come with a group of... let's go with that. They come here. We try and get as many into the underground area as possible. Gorlak does the rock thing, and then perhaps I go out, challenge them to a duel, and run into the forest looking scared.
Okay. So we've got the bear traps. They'll go in the forest. What about these poison dart traps? What do they look like? They like little crossbows?
Yeah,
or
he
fires?
shows you that they're two sort of like string things with an attachment that he can either put in the ground or screw into a tree, and he just fire a little dart.
Oh yeah, but I mean, if a Vryloka, if a Delata comes here, they're not going to be the first into this torture tomb, are they?
No.
And the people who go in, if they're just normal circus folk, they won't have dark vision.
Yeah, potentially. So
then snappy, snappy, blowy, blowy, burny, burny.
Well, I was thinking maybe we could.
Do you know, I've taken on quite a lot of your sensibilities since I spent quite a lot of time with you.
I've noticed. I'm glad I'm rubbing off on you in all the best ways. So do you think we could hide when we looked before at the dungeon? There were twists and turns, and were there like archways that we think we could hide the crossbow bolts, the crossbow firing bits behind?
There's a turn in the dungeon bit. Mm-hmm. So the places where you think you could hide them, initially as you go down the stairs, there's a doorway, there's an archway, and that has sort of like enough you can hide it behind it. There's enough not to go too Rainbow Six on it, but there's enough door frame there that you could easily plug something in if you were a cat can.
I'm bending down, putting it low. I'm even lying down doing it. Getting nice and low.
The downside would be that they're going to look down the stairs as they're coming down. It's a thin fish wire. It's obviously fishing line because he is a fisherman. And then you do a left-hand turn.
But I mean, because they're clowns, they might have like bells and things on their feet. So that's
and you don't know who's going to go down first. Only the only people with dark vision are the.
That's what I said. I said that.
Sorry.
Same wavelength.
Yeah. So if they, your numpties might not see it at all, and it is dark down here. And if you're doing it at night, it will be so dark.
And I have it on good authority that. Good footwork in fighting is more difficult with clown shoes.
You're really hoping to kill some clowns.
And then as you turn left, there's another sort of archway as well there. So that will be even better because they've gone through. Yeah. They've turned left. They're not going to be looking down. So if they see anything there, you could definitely put at least 2 on that bit.
I could put 2 of those.
Real, you're right. This second place seems the better place.
You've got 4 of those.
Let's put 2 on this. I don't want to risk. Blowing our cover, so let's put 2 of the traps in the second archway round the corner, and we'll save 2 and put them in the forest.
Okay.
So put 2 of them downstairs on the second archway.
Right. So 2 on the second archway.
Yeah.
Why? So you want them to have 2 at the same time?
Yeah, I thought you said there was room for 2.
There's room for 2, but rule says it's a poison, so having 2 doses isn't really going to be.
Okay, we'll just put 1 then.
Yeah, you might as well do 1. It's it's not going to be that much worse to have 2.
Okay, we'll put 1 on the second one then.
Yeah. Okay.
So they'll actually have to go in to encounter it.
You can put 1 on the first door, or save the other 3.
I think I'll save the other 3. I just worry that they'll do a good roll and.
Yeah, I'd save it. Just put 1. It's fine.
As they're going down. So keep the other 3, and we'll put that. So when we go to the tree.
I mean, if they are the humans, you may as well just put. How many bear traps have you got? 2?
You have 2 bear traps, 2 spike traps, 4 poison traps. So
they'll be bumbling around in the dark after they've been hit by a poison dart. Stick a bear trap down there.
So I'm trying to keep a note of where you're putting all these.
Dante, I will let you have your share of bear traps. Where do you want to put it?
I think it'd be. We're going to be up here. They're going to be bumbling around down there, and then we're going to hear snap. Ah!
So, okay, I'll give it to you. You can choose where to put it.
I think it might be interesting, and then we can,
Where's this one going?
Just downstairs in the dark room.
In the dark room, just in the middle of the dark room.
Around one
How
of the corners.
far away is that from the crossbow trap?
It's going to be really close, within feet.
Okay. Yeah, you can put that.
Yeah. So.
Do we think a normal?
Because if you were trapped down there, you would look for another exit, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I suppose you would.
Yeah, if they're going to be trapped down there, eventually they'll probably go back that way. Yeah.
Okay, so we've got 1 bear trap and 3 crossbow traps. So we got to the trees. Do we? If I'm looking and we thought there would be a like Dante ran through the trees, would there be paths that we think they'll take through? Ooh.
There's bits where the trees are thicker, so there's definitely bits where you could see where they would naturally have to follow you, where there's rocks and trees. So there's one bit right at the top where you're like, that seems like a natural bottleneck. It's right at the top of the island. So if you're going to cross over these rocks that would climb you onto the sort of the water's edge, you'd have to sort of really, unless you're going to go right the way around, you'd have to sort of run through these.
Well,
these
based on
trees.
your knowledge of the island, but
Real
you being real
looks over there and goes,
he
that
shows.
would be my recommendation.
I think we just take his advice and put them in the appropriate places there.
So he puts, and that you want the bear trap there. It really is like that will do the most damage.
Yeah.
And then between the trees, we'll put the remaining crossbow.
Just between trees. And what about the 2 spike traps? There you give them to Gorlock to put by the
Yeah.
boats and bury in the sands.
Yeah, well, so so either if they go up on the sandy bit, then try and bury it in the sand. While
They were heavy though, weren't they?
They were, but they're heavy enough. They are heavy, but Gorlock could drag them across a beach. He'd be able to physically do it. But then he would struggle to then get from there back up to the... So do you want him to start on the wall, or do you want him to start on the beach? Start on the wall.
Yeah.
So you want them always hidden by the beach so he can then pull them out by their boats.
And then if it all fails, he just throws one of them at the boat, so it grabs onto the boat and capsizes it.
Gorlock rolls his insight, and he says, "Why don't I set up the traps, and then rather than moving the traps, move their boats?
Oh, my boy, Gorlak.
So then when they run back to their boats, they have to go past the traps, because that seems quicker and easier."
I love it, Gorlak, but just remember where they are, because I don't want you setting them off when you move the boats.
Gorlock goes, "Oh yeah." You don't know how well this is going to go for Gorlock.
It's a good idea.
I like it, Gorlak. I like your initiative. It's really paying off well.
No, I mean, Gorlak, I know we're paying you, but that was a good idea.
Thank you. That is really good of you. So Rill comes up to you and he goes, "Can before we go back to the mainland, can I just check what the plan is? We've put 2 spike traps hidden on the southern beach, on the ends where we think they might arrive from town. You're expecting Gorlock to...
Gorlak, you did do that, right?
Yeah, I watched him do it. We marked them with a branch.
I mean, I'm quite impressed you didn't hurt yourself.
I found a piece of driftwood to mark where they are. Please don't put that piece of driftwood on the fire, because that is the only thing that lets Gorlock know where they are."
Grot wished he could look at Dante, but Grot still has no suspicions of anything. So Grot's just nodding, go, "Oh, that would be bad, yeah."
I've put the 2 the big bear traps. One's in the torture chamber, in the holding chamber where my son probably died. Thanks for sending me down there. One's in there, and one's out in the woods, hidden between 2 trees where you're going to try and make them run towards.
Which 2 trees?
Right at the end, the 2, and there are 2 taller trees right at the end of the island. He points those 2. It's between those 2 trees, and then and he goes and he walks with you, and he goes, "And between these 2 trees here, these 2 trees here, these 2 trees there, there's poison traps, and there's one more of those in the basement. Does everyone know where all the traps are?"
Yep. Gorlock, do you know where the traps are?
Gorlock nods.
Gorlock.
Roll an insight.
It's like I rolled an insight in your face.
Yeah.
Oh,
roll
not supposed
on
to
the
do it in there, are we, Gorlock? I'll blame that Gorlock.
That's cocked. You're nearly at 20.
Good.
God.
I like that. Don't
Oh,
put too much
it's
time on the table. I'll just throw the dice down onto the table.
I'll put the old one.
Yeah.
5 plus 0. Oh, seems fine.
Oh, see, fine.
Gorlock
I'm not
knows
rolling it
everything.
again.
That's right, so Gorlock says that he knows. Dante, do you know where the traps are?
Do we have to roll to see if we were paying? No.
No, you were paying attention. I wasn't, but you guys were paying attention. Oh, it's going to get interesting. I have to roleplay that somehow. Lucky you. So, everyone is ready. Rill's ready. He's waiting by the boat.
Real, let's go start some rumours.
nods. Okay. And he sort of hops in the boat and...
Let's take the boat back to the shore by your hut so we can leave the boat there and it wouldn't be unnatural.
Okay. He pulls it up onto his pier, his jetty when he gets there, and covers it with some...
Oh, has he got like a lifeboat raft deploying?
No,
thing?
he's just got... It's a jetty where you can sit on the end and fish.
If I ever have a boat, I want one like that.
Right,
That just looks like the best thing
it's
ever.
just a little rowboat he's got. Because actually, as you found out, he's not really into fishing. The reason he's not a very successful fisherman is most of the time he's out there hunting for his son's killer. So he pulls the... So why did you roll that dice and get a 20?
To bank it.
Right. Okay.
Have you banked it?
Yeah.
No,
banked.
you didn't bank it properly.
I did. So
I forgot to bank it.
I've done the bank handshake.
You have to shout bank it as soon as it hits the mat.
Yeah, actually, you have to say bank it as it goes in. I will allow you to do that.
Bank it?
Once per session, you can say bank it, and you bank your next
Bank
roll.
it!
17!
Oh,
Actually,
I attacked Dante!
you're on the island.
Oh, I throw a rock at Dante!
It's a 17, it just goes to the water. 17's not a 20.
Oh, wasted my 17.
I like the thought of that. You know you have to have a 1 next. You're sitting there going, oh, whatever I do next. Oh, no.
No, 'cause,
work,
yeah, it
actually.
doesn't.
You just do something
I know.
minor. We know you have banking it. It's a nice idea, but it doesn't work. Right. No banking it. You don't have your 20 that you randomly rolls.
Unless you roll it and we don't know what it is. No, but there's no benefit to that. There's no
It
benefit.
makes your life much more chaotic. The dice are already chaotic enough. Why are we trying to add more chaos to the chaos? So you get back to the island. He sort of does his best to sort of hide the boat just in case a 1 in 100 chance they decide rather than going for the main boats in the town. They decide.
No, we're going to have to use that boat to get back, otherwise we can't get to the island.
Okay, but he doesn't want if anyone comes. He doesn't want anyone else taking it just in case.
Well, just put your. I assume you have a boat lock or something.
He's like, no, I just assume no one's going to steal my boat. I normally put it up here so people don't take it.
You know, there is an ass in assume.
Right.
It's a proverb from the mountains.
Oh. Okay.
I know you don't get out much, but
I go to the mountains quite a lot.
well, you should have heard it.
Okay, fine. shall we go to town?
Yeah.
Where are we spreading these rumours?
So, he said he could get some information from the pubs, didn't he?
He knows. He's lived around this town for years. He would expect people to talk to him.
Killed hundreds of people around here.
He goes further afield for his killing,
Right.
and he hunts down like bandits and stuff like that.
Didn't he say he could find something out about the explosives, the mining?
He thought he could find you out if there's any other mine shops. You wanted to know if there was any routes down into the mines, and he said he could probably. He's like, I don't know, but I know people who know.
Real, I'm somewhat might be somewhat of a hot property in the town, so maybe it's best if we if perhaps. I mean, do I think that I would be?
Yeah, you're probably still wanted.
I'll stay maybe on the outskirts, and I'll meet you.
Do you think you're still wanted? How long's it been?
Less than 24 hours.
Yeah, well, people's memories.
It's not GTA.
I look up into the.
Check my stars.
I look up into the sky. How many stars are there?
Permanent 4 stars.
God, fucking
Oh, you're that
hell.
part of the story.
So he wanders with you to the northern end of town.
Yeah, I said, look, I'll meet you by the circus.
And what do you want me to do exactly?
See if you can find anything about the who's been buying up all the explosives.
Do you want me to start spreading this rumour?
Not in the town, no.
Okay.
I think we'll leave that for the circus.
Okay.
Before you go, Rill, as a gesture of goodwill, and I give him a reasonable amount of money.
Oh, yeah, he takes it. He comes back about 40 minutes later, and he says, I have some leads, and he shows you a parchment where people have drawn on a map some potential mine entrances around. He says, we can check some of these later if we need to find a way into the mine. I'm fairly certain some of these will work. I did have to spend quite a lot of your coin buying drinks for people.
That's
I had
fine,
to
Rill.
make up some lies and convince people that I'd had a very lucky haul and I'd found some treasure.
Is there any point me working out in... the Look, I'm not there, so I was going to say, can I insight to see if they worked? But then it's only going to be his opinion of whether the lies worked or not.
Yeah. Okay. You can ask him what his lie was.
Well, 7 plus.
I mean, he seems relatively convinced of what he says. He sort of nods. And goes, these people know me. They trust me.
Okay, Real. I mean, as long as you haven't made yourself a target.
Well, I said I'm the richest man in town now, and I've got it all stored in my boats. No, I think we're fine.
Excellent. Okay, right. What time of day is it?
You're talking sort of. We're talking early evening. The sun is.
Wouldn't that be appropriate time to go to with the stuff beyond in the circus?
The circus will be starting up. So, like the night before, you watch the circus starting. You see people leaving town from the northern end. You're sort of hidden in the woods by the path. You see people going up that way.
Like if my hair, I can't remember how long my hair was at this point, but if it was, I don't remember.
I wasn't monitoring your hair.
To sort of change my appearance, I'm going to put my parting the other side of my head.
Right.
Oh, that'll trick. That'll
Trick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just don't let them see you in a mirror.
And Io. Well, if they're vampires.
Oh well, you're a vampire, so you're fine then.
So yeah, exactly.
What? Were you half vampire?
Because they won't be able to see me in a mirror.
Well, but they're not vampires. They're Loka.
Yeah. Well, in case there were any knocking
You
around,
don't know much about your culture.
I kind of had it thrust upon me. I move Io from my left shoulder to my right.
You're not going to put eye up in the sky?
No, because I'm changing my appearance.
Right, okay.
So you're keeping your very noticeable bird on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I put her up in the sky.
Io flies around.
In fact, no, I give her to. Do I think that? I mean, like,
Real shakes his head and goes, people would be baffled.
This is like.
I've lived in this town my whole life. If I was only walking around the hall, they'd be going, "Hey, Real, where the fuck did you get that hawk?"
I got a good ball.
Yeah, they know you. That's a good point. I hadn't thought of
They
that.
would be like, "Real, the fisherman, you own a hawk now?" I'd be like, "Yeah, I've got you tall friend and a hawk."
I give Io some money and I say, "Go enjoy yourself. Have some fun. Just don't get drunk and tell people, otherwise I will have to throw a javelin at you."
Io flies up and goes and has some fun. She believes she has the evening.
I whisper
off
in her, I'm kind of peckish, so I mean, like.
If she can bring you back a rabbit, she will try to.
Yeah.
Let me. You don't see her come back anytime soon. As you start walking up, you see her flying around, hovering and doing what she does.
Let's go to the circus.
So you start. Are you gonna walk in the woods, or are you gonna take the main actual road?
Main road.
Okay, you take the main road. There are guards and people sort of wandering up there as well. It's definitely not a quiet night, and it's not quite a normal night. You see some people.
But I think it would be.
Road.
I think it'd be unnatural
If
to
you got seen in the woods, yes, you could get to the circus without being seen.
and not being.
But if anyone
the
did
most-
see you, they'd be like, "Yo, what's this about? Why are you in the woods?"
I mean, when I got recognised last time, I had a cloak and stuff over my arm, but I didn't have my hood up or anything, so I had my face fully on show.
Yeah,
it's getting evening now.
Yeah, you've got the different clothes. It's late. You can definitely hide your face quite well. You've got the cover of being with someone completely trusted. People say hello to Rill as they see him. Everyone seems to know him by name.
I mean, Will, do you think it would help if we held hands or anything? I don't know whether.
Yes.
Do I think it?
What is that?
It's a 12 total.
Yeah, I'm an old, almost blind man. You helping an old, doddering man
Okay.
in town would...
I put my arm around him and I sort of, as if I'm guiding him.
And you look like maybe a nephew with a great uncle or a grandson. I mean, people would expect to know Rill's family, but not only people knew him directly.
I do it in the caring way rather than the I'm robbing you and taking you to an ATM way.
But when you rob people, it's quite caring as well.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
If in doubt, I'll just say you're my cousin's son from Radus, around the
From Radus.
Radus. If you get that wrong, though, we're going to look like a right pair of idiots.
Right, real. Yeah.
So you get yourself up towards the circus, and you can.
How does it look?
Yeah, it's magnificent. The two sort of top tents is ahead of you. The big.
But have we seen any Because I mean, I know this is like D&D magic-y type, but have we seen any magic-y type circus stuff? So I don't
You
know.
see that there's been fire breathers and stuff like that.
Because I imagine like taking a circus and putting it in D&D world, you would get like an insanely awesome circus.
Well, you'd have to go inside and witness what they do, but unfortunately, you've got another day to wait before the circus happens.
the stuff like stuff outside though, isn't
Yeah,
there?
you've not been to the freak show yet. I mean, that's still sitting
Right,
there
well.
waiting.
You love having days out in D&D.
But like, honestly, a D&D circus would be just so much better.
Yeah, we've all seen.
Oh yeah, they put
Potter.
loads of pressure on that circus.
Because like, no, but I mean like,
Listen to it.
so
It
like,
sounds like you're really passively aggressive. Yeah, so like, you know the shit circus you got, right? Funny thing is, I thought the first fucking thing your stupid head would do would make me a fucking cool D&D circus.
Yeah.
My cool day out.
like if you get a magician, they can do stuff in the sky.
Yes,
like a fire breather wouldn't just breathe fire. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, a little bit like, oh, I've just drunk some petrol. No, it would be like, I'm a dragon, and
I'm
like,
Dragonborn, and I just do this all the time.
well, yeah. So they can do it different colours.
Well, go to the freak show. Let's see the.
Oh, I'm going to
Sees
every
now.
single part of this fucking circus.
Well, this would be a lot of fun for you then. It's a lucky little
Okay, no, so-
freak show.
You know, as we go past the guards and stuff, I want to just sort of like lean in a little bit, so I kind of angle my face a little bit away, and
Yeah, and let me just. You seem to pass relatively unobserved. I mean, they're looking at everyone, but don't seem to be looking at you any harder than
I make sure I've got small change in my pockets. I don't want to be whipping out loads of gold coins. Like
Okay,
at
yeah,
the,
you
at
put
the
some
ticket.
coppers and one or two silvers into the pocket, so
Yeah.
you can pay for things cheaply and quickly.
Yeah, cool. Okay, is there a queue? Is there a queue to get
No,
tickets?
people are just sort of flowing in. You're not early, but you're with the first wave of guests.
Well, I look for the like if there's a ticket
As
hut.
you get to the front, there's no ticketing for the front. This bit's all free.
Yep.
Because it's not the actual circus. This is just the games and the freak show. This is sort of like the appetizer. They want you to experience all of this. They want you to go and play the games or see the freaks. That's free. Those things have got money on the door to them, and the game's obviously paid for. But this is to get you excited about the circus itself. It's to sort of build up some anticipation. So if you go left as you go in, you can play all the games. And there's lots of traditional circus games. You've got sort of like Hooper Duck and stuff like that.
But magic versions of them.
Oh, yeah.
How does Hooper Duck get translated into awesome D&D magic Hooper Duck?
It doesn't. That's just Hooping Ducks. I mean, some things are classics and can't be messed with.
Yeah, true.
There's sort of tin cans that you've got to sort of throw a ball at. Once again, just absolutely classic. No magic used on them at all.
Because
There's
magic
not-
costs money. You got components.
Yeah, the thing is, if you're
Yeah,
a
that is
that.
true though. To be
Yeah.
fair, that is true.
There's a guy doing. You can see a dunk tank. There's a guy stood above, but no one's on the dunk tank at the moment. But they definitely throw things at things, drop someone into a dunk tank. That seems to be one of the games.
What's in the water? Is it gunk?
It just seems to be water at the moment. You're
It's not
sure
like
it's
Funhouse gunk.
It doesn't seem to be Funhouse gunk.
No, that wasn't Funhouse. What the gunk?
Funhouse
it
had
was,
gunge,
yeah.
but Get Your Own Back had gunge as well. The gunge one where you went down on the chair and went splat, Get Your Own Back with Dave Benson Phillips. For our American listeners, British TV. Get Your Own Back was amazing.
Yeah.
Dave Benson Phillips went in my mum's car once and gave her a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He's got a pretty good website, Dave Benson Phillips, where he's got the year of Dave Benson Phillips.
What's he up to now?
She just likes Dave Benson Phillips. Right, so you can go right and go into the freak show, and there's all these sort of individual small tents.
Where's the biggest grouping of people?
Really spread out, really. Like, they have people have gone to all the different
Is the
bits.
freak show started then, or are people like?
All the little, you can go into any of the tents. They're almost like an exhibit. You walk in and people seem to sort of stand outside it, pay a coin, go inside for a bit, and come out again. So it's like you go in and you see whatever's in there. It's not like a show. It's just like an exhibit in a museum.
Okay.
So you pay a couple.
I want to focus on staying away from any of the bits where the I saw the Delata last time.
You just saw one of Delata last time, Il Pantalon you saw, and he was stood at the back by the games. So
Okay.
he was by the games.
I avoid that for the moment, and I just
Okay.
want to go wherever there seems to be like even a small queue of people, or somewhere where there are clowns on the door taking tickets or taking money, or just anywhere like
Okay,
that.
so you go towards the freak show.
Yep.
Can you roll me up a D8?
Ooh, fuck you.
Love it.
Yeah.
3.
3. The first one you see is there's a sort of sign above it saying the 3-in-1 girls.
Okay. Yeah, I could
There's
say.
a sort of clown barker on the door, sort of going, roll up, roll, I'll see the 3-in-1 girls.
So before we get there, I say to right. Basically, I think my plan is we go and have a conversation about how. Oh, did you hear they found that murderer Gorlak, the clown murderer?
Maybe call him Gorlock, as that's what he told me his name was when we were on the island.
Well, I mean, he should. Yeah, he should.
It'll make the rumour more believable if you
Yeah.
slightly mispronounce his name.
Imagine mispronouncing his name repeatedly.
And we sort of finish that conversation, or as we get to the gate, so that both people can hear it and the clowns maybe get an ear of it. So that's the plan.
Okay.
As we approach to be mid-conversation about
Right.
how the City Watcher had information that
Right.
yeah,
Okay. So, roll up a...
deception or
Yeah, is it? I guess it is deception. Yeah, but you're not trying to directly fool them. It's having a realistic conversation.
18 total.
Okay, so it's a very believable conversation. So I'm going to roll a perception to see whether the clown is listening to your conversation while he's also shouting about something else. Okay, he stops shouting and looks over at you as you're saying something, and but doesn't interact with you. Just seems to stop and listens to your conversation, and then lets you go into the room. It's a relatively small room as you go in there, and you see in a beautiful dress there are 3 heads coming out of 3 head holes on one dress, and they go, "Hello, how lovely to meet you. It's so nice to join us this evening. We are Leah, Mara, and Celia, and we are the 3-in-1 girl." And they start sort of showing you, they start doing sort of forward rolls, and you realise that in this one dress there seems to be somehow 3 girls, but there's only 2 legs and 2 arms coming out of it.
Can I roll my insight to see if I think this is some sort of trick, or if they actually are a like Cerberus-y type.
Yeah.
Perception plus 4, 15.
If it is a trick, it's very cleverly done. You can't see any room in the dress for extra bodies. You wouldn't know where the legs were going. The control they have is very impressive. It's really well done. So either if it's a trick, it's excellent.
I nudge, realizing not what I expected the 3-in-1 girls to be about. But okay.
What did you expect it to be about?
Oh, it's modern times.
Real studies it, and he goes, "I don't know how they're doing this. This is amazing."
So what they do in gymnastics? You type.
Yeah, they're doing a cartwheel, but yeah, all the 3 heads are there. I mean, it's really interesting. And they go, "Would you like to see some of our tricks?"
Definitely.
So they come forward and they say, "Right, Celia's going to close her eyes and cover them." And so Celia turns her head and covers her eyes. And so Leah goes, "Hold up some fingers to me."
I hold up 2.
2 fingers. And Celia shouts, "2!" even though she has her eyes covered.
I mean, it's almost like they're telling each other. They're seeing through their eyes. Will, you go cover their eyes.
Okay, Rill goes around and covers Celia's eyes and makes sure her eyes are probably covered. She's definitely facing the other direction. And this time, Leah, who's the head...
When you say facing the other direction, you mean like it's turned away?
Yeah, she's turned away. Yeah, she definitely wouldn't be able to see how many hands you're holding up. And Leah, who's the head on your side, it goes Leah, Mara, Celia on the far side. Leah goes, "Quick, hold your hand in front of it so only me and you can see."
I hold up my thumb.
Because that was just your thumb, Celia. It's not even a finger.
Bravo! Bravo!
And so you sort of go, you move around them, and they let you, they go, "Is there any tricks you'd like us to do? Anything that ever wanted to see a 3-headed girl do? We can say anything."
Well, I mean, I had heard a tale about something to do with a bat and ball game, but...
I mean, we can play tennis. We're not very good.
No, I mean, I've come in here didn't expect to be asked to suggest your act.
You just don't, people like to maybe suggesting. Sometimes people like us to sing or do a dance or anything. People have often suggestions for us.
Anything a cappella would be lovely.
And they do sing a little ditty for you. It's a famous sort of like innkeeper's song, and a couple of people filter in with you and start sort of joining in. And the girls start doing a dance with it and bobbing their heads up and down, and people are generally very impressed. It's it's an incredible act. If it is faked, it's done very, very well.
Indeed. How much did I pay to get in here?
Just a couple of coppers.
Thoroughly worth it, girls. I wish you all the best.
They smile and they wave as you leave.
How old do they look?
Early 20s.
I mean, like, I don't really know whether to like. I don't feel this is I don't know.
What do you mean?
I mean, Dante's thoroughly enjoying this, but I feel I've kind of got sidetracked slightly.
Yeah, it's out of character, isn't it? You literally got into 110 and you already got sidetracked because something was
Didn't
interesting.
even try to put the rumours of the girls.
No,
I gave him lots of
No.
extra time in there.
What would you like?
no, I was just enjoying
You
it.
got anything you want to say? No. Okay.
Yeah, it'd be a bit obvious. Oh well, I mean,
What are you doing now then?
look, I'm not going to go in there and just tell this three-headed girl.
So there's lots of other.
So have a normal conversation.
Huh?
And then drop it in later when you've built up some rapport and trust.
Right, do you want to go to any of the other freak shows?
I can't work out whether they. Before I
You're
leave,
shocked, aren't you?
I can't
They
work out
have
whether you're
actually-
going to be a cheap date or an expensive one. How many drinks do we have to buy?
They all laugh, but Mara tuts and goes, "Oh, we often get the naughty comments from the young men. You'll have to come and find us later and find out."
And where will you be later? My voice got a little bit higher there.
Celia looks a bit sullen and goes, "Probably in here. They work us pretty hard."
Oh, I mean, are you not here voluntarily? You not get paid?
Celia flinches at that point, and Leah goes, "Of course we are. Where else would we be? We're a three-headed girl."
And my insight would tell me that they're sort of pressured or whatever.
Roll up an insight then.
I mean, it says that.
Well, he's paying in the bank 20.
Nine.
Yeah, it looked awkward, that exchange. There's definitely some reason they're not leaving, and they don't necessarily seem that happy here.
Well, I tip them. I offer them a tip, and
They don't take it. They refuse it.
okay. Right, next tent.
Okay, roll up your d8 again. Try not to roll a 3. Was that white one? You all right?
5.
5. This one.
If it's 5-headed girls, I'm going to be really disappointed in you.
Okay. Awkward. Okay. The sign on this one just says Knitting Needle Nelly.
Ooh.
And you go in.
Same.
Same sort. There's a guy on the door. There's a little bit of a queue for this one.
So this one, I try and angle the conversation back to the people in the queue rather than the clowns.
Okay, there's a couple of people ahead of you. Just two smaller human couple. Like they look a bit older. Farmers, you'd expect.
Yeah. I mean, I gauge them in polite conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, how are you? You know,
Yeah, they're receptive. They nod and smile.
have that kind of. I drop in the. Oh, did you hear the news from the town?
Yeah, we heard 8 people killed in one night.
Yes, and they finally located. They think where the perpetrator, the rogue clown from here, has been.
Oh, the one with the posters.
Yes,
Where is he?
on the island in the what was the name of the lake? I can't remember.
Lake Parashar is named after the town.
On Lake Parashar.
They look really shocked, and they go on the lake.
I know he's not from round here. He wouldn't know.
They look proper panicked, and they actually leave the queue
Oh,
and go off talking.
my insight says to. Was that an 8 or I can't really see it in the light? So 14.
The bugbear is amongst the humans, as the phrase goes. The cat is amongst the pigeons. Your rumour is spreading.
It's gone viral.
What I was going for though was their reaction. So from what they said, I gleaned that it is common knowledge that this is the dark man sort
They
of
don't
older.
seem bothered by you, but that seems like a thing they're going to go and spread to other people.
No, but what I mean is that does it seem that island is a no-go zone for everyone?
They all suddenly freaked out by the idea someone's on the island. Yeah.
Right, okay.
They were definitely like, "Ooh,
Interesting.
shouldn't be on the island."
Interesting. So that whole dark man thing clearly is wider than the sort of.
Oh yeah, it's
small
not just
thing,
Rill who
possibly.
thinks of the island as sacred. He would have explained to you that people have got superstitions about the island. Even if they don't literally believe in the dark man, they think something's off about the island. You don't go to the islands.
Okay. Go in. Knitting Needle Nelly.
So Knitting Needle Nelly, you pay your coin, you go in, and you see an overweight woman sitting there. Not huge, just a bit overweight. She's wearing just a sort of bikini top.
Sexy.
And sort of a skirt, and she is taking needles and just pressing them into her stomach through the flesh.
I mean, how jealous are you right now, Grot?
Why would Grot's sitting on the island going, why would I be jealous right now?
I mean, I'm a wow.
Oh, you're because you think I want to be there?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're watching that. I suddenly do feel jealous. I'm stuck here looking after the children. Well, Dante's obviously off, having a great
What do you
time.
think you have with you?
I haven't looked.
Yeah, it's a good point. Hang on. Yeah,
Can I?
he's still there.
Right, insight. Do I think it's again a trick, or is there any blood or anything? 18.
You're not sure. Actually, it doesn't seem to be a trick. She seems to be really pushing a needle into her own stomach. It seems to be going.
My dear, stop! I find. Ugh, this is. Are you okay?
Oh, don't worry, I don't feel a thing. And she turns to another person who's in there with you and goes, would you care to remove that one? And he pulls it out. And you see it's got no blood on it at all. But you can see there's a little hole in the flesh. And she goes, holds the needle and goes, don't worry, I won't feel anything. And offers for you to push one into as well.
So, can I do a
Slice of hand over the neck.
no, a sort of like ping of to see if there's any magic-y or,
Yeah, you
or
know,
like
Arcana.
eveness.
Is it Arcana?
No,
It's not
actually, no, I
Arcana,
can't.
it's
I
called.
can't.
Is it Arcana? Yeah.
It's just a specific spell. What I meant was like the divine sense. You can detect good or evil. Can I sense it? Yeah.
What are you doing? You're just muttering spells at me.
Right, divine sense. You can detect good or evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or known location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 foot.
Oh, hang on. So.
And that goes down as well.
Yeah. You can sense anything evil within 60 feet.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did it the way we did it
Yeah.
last time. We
Yeah,
twinned
like-
it specific
yeah.
to Vryloka.
Yeah, okay, so you want a general, is this evil in this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh. Yeah. 18.
She doesn't seem evil. She doesn't seem like an evil person. You're getting pings from the area further away of definitely Vryloka stuff around. You get a weird feeling off her, but it's not that she's evil. But there's something a little bit up here, obviously, because this woman's having needles pressed into her.
I casually say, I sort of.
You nudge Will and you realise he's stabbing you with a needle slowly.
Oh God, Real, stop that right now.
Sorry, it's amazing.
I know. I imagine that's what they're going to do to that Gorlock when they find him when they get him on that island.
She goes, what have you... You've heard of... Where's Gorlock been?
Oh,
Have you heard of Gorlock?
it's all the news in the town.
But you said he's been on... When they got him, have they caught him already?
No, I think that they're heading out there. They've seen a fire. They think he's on the island. I mean, I don't know how long
What's the islands?
well, we don't really talk about it around here. In fact, I feel quite uncomfortable about this.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but he's been seen on an island.
A boat was missing.
Oh, fascinating.
More and more lies.
Roll it up, Scotty.
Actually, the orange one's been all right. So it's a 9 plus deception. 12.
Okay. She just sort of nods and he goes, fascinating. And she lets the next guest have a needle, but she's definitely sort of looking more agitated and... Ooh. She shouts over the clown doorman and starts whispering to him, but doesn't point at you. No, so she doesn't... You don't see her indicate that it was you who gave her this information.
Real, I do like her show, but this was a little bit... Actually, no. See, I was just last time when we went to the hotel, particular, I was disappointed I didn't see the puppet show. So actually, I don't know how Dante would feel about this whole. I mean, she's clearly not bothered by it. So actually, I don't think it would bother him that who's.
No, okay.
Real, I'm sorry. I should have let you stick that needle in there. I feel
Really?
I've.
I did.
Well, in fact, I feel like I should have had a go myself.
You should have done it. It was very good.
I go back in.
Okay. Oh, she looks a little bit shifty and goes, I'm sorry, I can't share it with you.
Share what?
The reward money.
But I mean, it's just a rumor that I heard. I'm not giving any new information.
Oh. Okay, never mind then. What do you need, young man?
Well, I didn't actually have a go with the knitting needle.
Oh, okay. She sort of moves her arm and then she snaps at the knitting needle.
So, tracking back, that's how dealing with that. And let's stay. However, so would we have known there was a reward and stuff?
Yes, you had a reward poster.
Yeah.
Right. But the way I'm selling it is that it's a rumour that I've heard and someone else has already cashed
Are you
in.
thinking I can collect the reward here? 'Cause
No.
That's not what we're supposed to do.
No, I know. That's why I'm saying it's
No,
not my
that's why
information.
she didn't point at you because she's trying to collect the reward.
Ah.
So she hasn't gone, they told me. She's gone, hey, Mr. Clown, you have assumed. You're making this go.
So my thing was I was going to bluff that, it was common knowledge. I'd heard it from someone else and someone else had already claimed
She's
them.
going to make a blag and see if she
Fair
knows that they've not heard it in the circus. So she's like, if I can get a reward out of it, I'll take a reward out of it.
So go out.
Okay.
Let's have a go at a game.
Okay.
How are you enjoying this D&D session?
Loving it.
Right. There's sort of lots of traditional sort of games, circusy games. There's
What are the prizes?
there seems to be sort of there's a few which are sort of glass bottles with a fish inside, so you can win a small goldfish. That seems a relatively nice prize. There's little straw
Do I
dolls.
think that they would be like Io would like their fish?
I mean, I would probably eat the fish.
Okay. What was the other one?
There's there's straw dolls that seems to be for the children. The children can win. There's sweets and treats that the people can win and stuff like that.
Like lollipops.
Like, there's big swirly lollipops covered in colour, and someone was a bit jealous they didn't get a lollipop earlier.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, they
Yeah. Okay.
games seem to have that.
Let's go for. Let me see. Some site. Is there any strength-based games?
Yeah, there's a test your strength machine, and
Oh.
that seems to have lollipops as a prize.
Fantastic. Let's go do that.
Okay. So you go to test your strength machine, and there is a man about 7 foot tall.
Do I get any pings from him as I'm coming up?
Same dull ping you got from the Knitting Needle Nelly. Not that he's
Not
evil.
the same. Not the same. Okay.
He's
yeah.
not an evil person, but it's the same sort of. There's definitely an evil thing, something to do with him, but it's not he's evil. You're not like, oh yeah, this is an evil.
And it's not the same as when I went past. Let me just see my notes. Escabarbadon.
No, nowhere near that sort of level. And in the distance, you can once again feel pings of Vryloka further away on the edge of your 60 feet. You're like, oh.
And
yeah.
it's different to. Is it in any way similar to the?
Vryloka sense.
No. Is it similar to
Yeah.
the ping that we got from the drones, the automatons?
Similar, yeah, more similar to that, yeah. But you realise that the test your strength machine seems to be a large plank of wood above him that says test your strength. And there's a big mallet by him, but normally when you've seen them at other fairs, there's sort of like a little lever you hit and it flings sort of a bell in the air. But this doesn't seem to be it. It just seems to be a 7 foot tall man and he's wearing one ginormous shoe.
He's wearing one giant on 1 foot, or he's
on
in
one
the
foot.
shoe.
He's
like
wearing
the
one big shoe on his left foot. And
I have a look. Does anyone else go up to it?
no
or-
one's been up to him yet, but you could wait for a little bit and see what some of them
Yeah,
are.
let's have a wait because I don't want to
Okay.
go. If it's not that well used,
Yeah,
Yeah.
And someone that stirs up and he goes, and he's saying there, and he looks quite sad. He goes, test your strength, and sort of a man comes up, a larger sort of dwarven fella comes up, sort of big in the shoulders, and he goes, swing the hammer, hit my foot, and I will tell you how hard it is. The hardest one, if you can make me scream, gets either one of the prizes off the top row. Make me just yell off the middle row, and if I don't react at all, you get nothing.
well, okay.
And the dwarf rolls up rolls the thing up, sort of gives it a swing around his head, shoves his friends, smacks it down on the guy's foot. You hear a crunch, and the guy just stands there and goes, "No, nothing for you."
So I got up. I want to get a little bit of a closer look at this guy. So he doesn't have any of that automaton sort of.
No, just sort of chatting. Just,
But again, it's these people are sort of like the Knitting Needle Nelly. They're performing acts which are seemingly supernatural.
yes.
Okay, so his foot, does it look like I would actually be hitting a foot?
There's a shoe there. You're not sure if it's a trick. The dwarf just smiles and laughs and goes off about his business. Like, he doesn't seem bothered.
Okay.
It wasn't particularly expensive, so...
Hello, it's my Oh, what did I say? Uncle? Was I pretending to be uncle?
No, you're in trouble if you don't right.
This is my cousin's son, says Rill, cuts in when he realises you don't know.
Cousin's son. So what does that make him to me?
He's my father's cousin.
Right. That's complicated.
So cousin's son isn't complicated, but father's cousin is complicated.
Both complicated.
Okay, you gotta tell Real that.
Just say it's your dad. It's great.
No.
My son is dead.
Right,
That's
sir.
kind of my whole thing.
Let's have a go, shall we?
Okay, roll up a
Before I do, I feel the weight of the hammer.
yeah, definitely a real hammer.
I mean, is that really your foot?
Yes, it is.
Does this not hurt?
Agony.
But how do you manage not to scream?
Sometimes I do.
What makes you scream then? What,
When you hit my foot
the
hard enough.
absolute worst? I mean,
Oh, yes, at certain levels the agony is so much even I can't resist screaming.
how do you walk? How do you...
Slowly. I put all the weight on the other foot.
And why have they... Is your foot exceptionally large? Is this why they picked you?
No, my feet are big. I'm 7 foot tall. I used to be here just as the biggest man, but then they found a bigger man. So now I have to do the foot one.
Is right.
Don't worry, the man who did this before was only 6'9". They made him the head of a mine somewhere.
I'm not going to comment. I've fallen into traps like this before about revealing who my secret past is. But I don't understand why one shoe is bigger.
Oh, it just gives me a little bit of protection, and if I wore my normal shoe, people often miss. Because they're very bad at swinging the hammer.
That's fair enough. How far up was the lolly on the...
Oh, I have to really scream if you want a lollipop.
Oh, well, it's your unlucky day then, my friend. Give it a swing.
Yeah.
No, I missed it.
Good.
It's a really good roll as well.
Oh, dear.
Okay.
10.
It hits into his foot. He goes, I thought you wanted a lollipop.
Oh, sing! Shit, blood. I
No, I very rarely do. He puts his hand out for another payment.
I am giving the money and I give Rill the hammer.
Okay, Rill takes 2 steps back, wellies it down as I go, and the man goes, ah! Here's a lollipop, old man. That was thoroughly unpleasant.
I offer him a tip as well, like I did the knitting little lily.
I'm sorry, we're not allowed to accept money extra other than the costs.
Oh, why is that?
Oh, we're just meant to accept the payments. Them's the rules.
I feel very sorry for you. I heard there's a Rashashastra in town that might be able to help with your injuries.
I won't be going down to town.
Oh no, why? Are you not allowed out?
It's a long walk and my foot's in absolute agony.
I'm sure they could arrange for a cart or something. She's a very interesting woman.
No, I'm going to stay here. Test your strength.
Okay.
And with that, I think we will leave the freak show and the games and the traps until next week. Thank you for listening. It's actually in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening.
The Formal Gamer, podcast for those with exquisite taste.